ladies and gentlemen. This is Feed Your Focus podcast. We have another episode today. We are in Washington, D.C. today for Rwanda Day 2024. I go by the name of Boris Nwari. This is another episode of Feed Your Focus podcast. I'm with a special guest today. I'm just going to give him some time so he can introduce himself. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you guys for having me today.
Absolutely, yeah. So we just linked up here at the Young Entrepreneur Network event organized by Shaxmedia here in Washington, D.C. And we just made this creative and we'd just like to chat it up a little bit with him. So please tell us, what's your name and then what do you do?
So my name is Kennedy Edgerton. I'm a journalist and a film producer. I have a production company that I'm launching, On the Edge Film and Media.
Nice.
I'm getting into scripted content, videography, documentary work, stuff like that.
Right.
Video editing, photography down the road as well.
Nice.
And I also have a documentary series called Artem, The Path to Creativity.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what I do. That's it for now, you know.
Absolutely, man. You definitely a man with a lot of great talents. So what would you say is the most thing that you like to do? Is it more like writing or like as far as?
Yeah, honestly, probably writing.
Writing.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That's what I'm best at. I've written a lot of like short film scripts.
Right.
I've written a 90-page feature length script.
Nice.
So yeah, writing is really my strong suit, but editing would have to be the second.
The second thing?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what did you make like transition from journalist to doing film or short documentaries?
Yeah,
What inspired you to do that? What inspired you to just go from journalism and then start doing like movies and scripts?
Well, it's funny. When I first went to undergrad
Right.
At Morehouse, I actually started off studying film.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep. And I got into journalism down the road, so I do a little bit of both. So I actually, started with film journalism, and but the transition, I mean, it's both fields are storytelling,
Right.
at its core. So really, it's seamless to really
Seamless,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because like you love it.
I just love storytelling. That's my thing.
Absolutely. What would you say is the biggest challenge that you faced since you started like into the creative, vibe that you've been on for a long time?
Well, really, creativity kind of gets stifled a little bit when you're trying to make money with it.
Right.
Because in undergrad, you're really just doing it for the grade.
For the grade.
But it's more so for the passion.
Right.
Right. But now, you're making things not just because you enjoy it, but you're thinking like, damn, like how am I? I don't want to curse on here.
No, you good, bro. You can curse, bro.
You're like, damn, like how am I gonna make money from this? I like it, but is an audience gonna like it?
Absolutely.
So that's really the biggest challenge, but that's something that every creative who really wants to do it seriously has to really think about,
Okay. Is this like the first documentary you're producing, or is?
Oh yeah, it's the first one that I've produced really like academically, so
Right.
independently. It's actually a short, like episodic documentary series.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit more what it's all about?
Yeah, so Artem is basically a series that focuses on creatives, right? So we interview people who are, podcasts, producers, photographers, other filmmakers, anyone who is an artist.
Right.
And we get them on there and we follow them around their everyday lives and their professions, how they got started in it and whatnot. But what really makes our series unique is we focus on the practical aspect of being a creative.
Nice.
So for example, if I were to interview you guys, we would ask you, how did you get into podcasting? But most importantly, how can someone who has no knowledge of this practically get started?
Right.
That's what we want our viewers to walk away with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ask him.
Absolutely. That's definitely actually a good question too, because that's exactly what we want our viewers to definitely learn. This podcast, the name of the podcast is Feed Your Focus. We have a music label that's called the Creative Genius, and then one of our motto or one of our mission or like I would say like a definition of what we are is our core values like starve your distractions and feed your focus.
Wow.
So from just that theme, you know, we're like, yo, this theme just hits so hard, like solve your distractions, feed your focus.
Yeah.
And then, you know, one of us, actually JPAC Jabir, that's the one who came up with the name of Feed Your Focus. Was like, yo, how about we start a podcast and then just name it Feed Your Focus, and then that's how we started. But before we started doing the podcast, you know, we have musicians, you know, we have like photographers, videographers, you know, the shot weddings and things like that.
Wow.
Events and things like that.
Okay.
So some of us are rappers, you know, singers, dancers. So, you know, just to be in that creative vibes with your friends, with your peers.
Yeah.
That's how Feed Your Focus podcast actually started.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. But so how is life DC as a creative? Like, how do you see it as a creative to live here in DC?
In DC?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you're in.
Right.
I think DC is really strong for like journalism, documentary stuff.
Right.
May not be as strong for like narrative, scripted like films, like somewhere like LA or Atlanta.
Right.
So there's a lot of room for growth there. But I've met a lot of interesting people, yourself included, who do you know, journalism, podcasts, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, it really just depends on what you do and where you want to, you know, angle yourself.
Absolutely, man. Definitely. Yo, thank you so much for your time today, man. But before you move on, can you tell us what's your plan for? Do you have any plans for your future?
Yeah, so I'm gonna pursue a master's degree, hopefully, in film and TV writing.
Nice, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if I get in, we'll see.
Right.
Yeah, but once I do that, I want to really focus in on the Edge Film and Media, the production company, and really start producing short films, putting them in festivals.
Nice.
You know, figuring out how to make money. You know, posting them on Amazon, Tubi, stuff like that, and then focus on Artem and just really overall just get content out there and just start creating stuff. That's what's up. Instead of talking about it, let's do it.
You heard that from the man Kennedy, man, the creator, the artist. Before we go, where can our followers find you? Where can we find you if you want to follow you, anything like that?
You can find me on Instagram at the Kennedy Edgerton. You can find On the Edge Film and Media on Instagram at ontheedge.tv. And Artem is at Artem the series. That's it.
Absolutely. I hope you heard that though. Before you go to the last question I want to ask you, bro.
Yeah.
Can you tell, this is Feed Your Focus podcast. Can you tell us, what do you do to feed your focus?
I just make sure I take in a story every single day to keep the inspiration going. That's what feeds my focus. That's what feeds my drive to, keep at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you love sports or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually played rugby in college and high school, so I played that for a bit. I watch football and stuff all the time.
Real? What's your favorite team in football?
Oh, man, it was the Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
I'm kind of a bandwagon, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, exactly. So, home team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Ravens this time around. I'm sorry, they lost, but...
Lamar, man, he didn't make it happen, but hopefully next year.
Next year, we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Yo, Kennedy, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here on Feed Your Focus podcast. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope you like it. And we're going to send you this, short clip. And then hopefully, man, we wish you nothing but the best, man,
Yes,
we
sir.
hope you make it. And then hopefully go meet in the future again.
I appreciate that. Hopefully, man.
But before you go, the last question I forgot to ask him. We are here at the Young Entrepreneur Network event organized by Shaxmedia. How did you meet Shax?
I actually discovered this event on Eventbrite.
Oh, for
so
real?
I don't know anybody here. I just kind of
you just
discovered it and
came
came out.
Vibes.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Look at this, man. This is what a networking event is all about. Feed Your Focus, man. Kennedy, the producer, the journalist, man. This is the end for it, man. Thank you so much for being with us. This is Feed Your Focus, another episode, Washington DC series. Peace, man.
Peace.